Hi, this is Paco and welcome to our next chapter of Unboxing Standards. In this section, Unboxing Standards, we are introducing new standards of particular interest. In this case, we are going to see the new European and international standard EN IEC 62232 of 2025 on the determination of radio frequency field strength, power density, and SAR in the vicinity of base stations. You may say, wow, that's quite technical. Well, it is. In fact, it's a very important standard. In fact, it covers the methods for the determination of radio frequency field strength, power density, and the specific absorption rate, SAR, in the vicinity of base stations. So it's something that is really of interest for citizens, but also for authorities and manufacturers or installers or this kind of antenna. So that's precisely the target audience of this standard. So national and local authorities, manufacturers of equipment, installation companies, and accredited laboratories. So we were mentioning accredited laboratories. Many accredited laboratories in Europe, they use the EN IEC 62232 standard, in particular the 2022 version, which is technically equivalent to the 2025. The 2025 version contains improvements and is solving some questions that were unclear in the previous version. So it's a really interesting standard. So in fact, accredited laboratories are using this standard together with other standards for assessing the electromagnetic fields in the human environment, in particular for emitted by equipment that it's close to the human body, or to areas where you have citizens living. The content of the standard, we have Clause 5, which provides some advice on how to use the document. Clause 6 provides the three main points of focus of the standard, which is radio frequency exposure evaluation methods, product installation compliance, and also in situ radio frequency exposure assessments. So it also includes simplified criteria for putting base stations into operation. So it's a very relevant standard. Then we have a part which is Clause 7, together with Annex A, provides guidelines on how to select the evaluation method to be used. Clause 8, together with a bunch of annexes, specify the RF exposure evaluation methods. And Clause 9 addresses the estimation of uncertainty, which is also an element to be taken into consideration, in particular when measuring the exposure of the electromagnetic fields provided by a base station. So also we have Clause 10, which describes reporting requirements for the evaluation assessment, and additional guidance can also be found in a technical report developed by IEC, which is this ICTR 62669 case study supporting this standard, 62232, determination of radio frequency field strength in the vicinity of radio communication base stations. So this standard, this technical report is also a supporting document that should be taken into consideration. As I said before, the EN IEC 62232 is an identical adoption of the IEC standard, but it's also an improved version of the 2022 standard. It's technically equivalent to the previous standard, but it clarifies and solves some uncertainties or some areas that were not clear enough, and this is completely solved in the new version. Also, learning from the experience of these case studies that I was referring before. So the standard is much improved, and I recommend you to take it into consideration, in particular because the standard is also supporting the EU legislation, in particular Commission Implementing Regulation 2020-1070, as amended by the 2024-2000. These two Commission Implementing Regulations provide requirements and are highly based on the application of EN IEC 62232. Of course, the standard also indirectly supports the recommendation on the limitation of exposure of the general public to electromagnetic fields and also the radio equipment directive. But this is an indirect. They are not. This is not a harmonized standard. It's not developed in the context of a standardization request, and it's not a harmonized standard in the context of the radio equipment directive. But it can be used to support manufacturers and base station installers in the context of the RED directive. In addition, I would like to call for your attention on a page where you have all the necessary information regarding the standards that are developed in the context of assessing the electromagnetic fields in the human environment. Here you have the QR code, and it has been my pleasure to introduce you this very interesting standard, EN IEC 62232, version of 2025, recently published. It's still hot from the oven of the CENELEC and IEC, and it will be my pleasure to give you additional unboxing standards in the next days. So follow us. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.